A beautiful night in Las Vegas. It is Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers, the MGM Grand Showcase, and our matchup, top 20 teams, Oklahoma State and Colorado. And welcome inside the MGM Grand. Dave Fleming alongside Fran Fraschilla, along with Andy Katz, for what promises to be a heck of a game between two teams, Fran, that don't play in the same conference any longer, but know a lot about one another.
They sure do. The coaching staffs know each other. A lot of these players do as well. And both point guards are going to get to know each other well tonight because we have two of the best in the country.
We do. A great matchup. Speaking of, that's the focus of our one-on-one.
No question about it. As Marcus Smart goes, so does the Cowboys. Good enough for a 7th ranking early in the year. Outstanding on so many facets. And then Spencer Dinwiddie, the junior from L.A., who's really blossomed under Tad Boyle and the facilitator for this Buffalo's attack.
So two really talented players. We will focus a lot of attention on those two starting lineups, though. There are other talented kids in this game for the 20th ranked Buffaloes. Not just Dinwiddie, Askia Booker, nice scorer on the perimeter. Josh Scott, Xavier Johnson, and Wesley Gordon round out the starting five for Colorado. On the other side of things for Oklahoma State, the 7th ranked team of the country. Marcus Smart, Markel Brown has played really well. LeBron Nash probably playing the best basketball of his career, and Williams and Cobbins. For the Cowboys, their head coach, Travis Ford, is standing by with Andy Katz.
All right, thank you, Dave. Travis, what's the one thing that has to go well for you guys to knock off Colorado?
We got to keep him out of transition. Dinwiddie's great when he gets the ball crossing the court in transition, creating for himself or creating for others. This team's going to set a lot of ball screen. Our ball screen defense is going to have to try to keep the ball out of the paint.
You told me the last sort of complete game you guys played is when you beat Memphis at home. What has to change to make sure that you have another game like that?
Well, we just need to put two halves together. Effort, don't turn it off and on. Just be locked in the whole time. We've had a tendency here lately to try to turn it off and on.
Appreciate it, Travis.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Andy. So Travis Ford and his Cowboys feeling like one of the very best teams in the country. They certainly have one of the best players in the country in Marcus Smart on the big stage here in Las Vegas. Leading into the holidays, a chance for Marcus Smart and his teammates to have a very big game against a good Colorado team that has a signature win against Kansas. The Jayhawks went down in Boulder. Tad Boyle, his 4th season as the Colorado head coach.
And it's the longest Buffalo's winning streak since 1961-62. So Tad Boyle's done an outstanding job. He didn't play at Colorado, he played at Kansas, but he's a Colorado native, former Colorado Player of the Year at Greeley High School. Has done a great job in Boulder.
Pac-12 has had some excellent victories. Oregon took down Georgetown to get the year going. Arizona State, nice win on the road against UNLV here in Vegas. Even Washington State, kind of a bottom feeder team, at least expected to be in the Pac-12 with a win over a Big Ten team. Arizona, of course, is a great win at Madison Square Garden against Duke, and the one we were talking about, Colorado taking down Kansas.
Oh, there's a lot of strength at the top of the league. I'll tell you, a team that's a sneaky team is Utah. All right, Krzyzewski's team off to a terrific start as well, a young basketball team.
But Colorado 10-1, their only loss in their opener in Dallas against Baylor. Meanwhile, Oklahoma State, their only loss against Memphis in that rematch game, which was unusual the way that happened so shortly after Oklahoma State played Memphis at home and just blew the doors off the Tigers.
It was a game where Marcus Smart tried to do too much at the end of that ball game. And it's interesting, last 3 games they won blowout victories. He only took 7 shots a game, trying to get his teammates more involved.
Just a great all-around player and leader. The sophomore has the ball. Oklahoma State, the first possession of this game.
Here's what they do. They run a lot of good action, and Travis Ford does a good job of exploiting mismatches.
Well, I'm not sure you'd call that a mismatch, but they got a great look for Michael Cobbins down low. He just missed the shot. Meanwhile, Xavier Johnson might have gotten away with a travel wild shot. He missed it.
You know, for all the talk about Markel Brown and Marcus Smart, this guy with the ball, O'Brien Nash, has had a very efficient junior season. 55% from the field.
Here is Marcus Smart with the ball. He's going to shoot a contested 3. No good. Rebound, Colorado.
Tad Boyle told his team, we're going to force jump shots over a challenging hand. And that's exactly what Marcus Smart took right there.
Wesley Gordon, who redshirted last year, a freshman, but with some experience, and he's played well. Gives it up to Spencer Dinwiddie, the junior from the LA area. Great bounce pass look, and Josh Scott with the dunk.
Very simple cross screen inside, and Scott got free. Good delivery by Spencer Dinwiddie.
First points of the game, Colorado with the 2-0 advantage. There's Markel Brown with that shot fake. He gets so high with the release on the jumper.
He chronicled how much he's improved over the course of his career. He's actually been in a minor shooting slump last few games. Good to see him get out of it early.
There's so much attention on Smart. He's a preseason Big 12 first teamer. That's a travel by Askia Booker.
Well, Spencer Dinwiddie has really blossomed as a point guard. Take a look at the vision right here. Watch the little one-hand pass. Simple. As a freshman, remember, Dinwiddie was really the co-pilot of a Buffalo team. Oh, he just got hit in the mouth, Dinwiddie.
Yeah, he is hurting. Spencer Dinwiddie really hurting. And yet calling for the ball. So he's trying to tough it out. That was a shot. He throws a lob to Scott. Tough catch, and then trying to save it in was stolen away. Here's Marcus Smart, the spin move and the lay-in.
That's what he does well. He attacks the paint. He's got the size and strength. Just saw a little crease.
That's tough to stop.
Talking 6'4", 225 right there. They're gonna try to keep the Buffaloes pinned on the sideline and pick and roll defense.
Not a very effective pick and roll there. Booker, though, is open for three. Good.
When Ski Booker has his feet set and doesn't take challenge shots, he's outstanding.
He'll shoot a lot. That's what he does.
He's got a green light. He'll sometimes take shots that he's really not going to shoot a high percentage on, but they let him play his game.
Some help defense and a foul committed by Wesley Gordon.
Well, watch the athleticism of Marcus Smart. NBA scouts don't think he's the speediest guy in the world, but take a look at the acrobatic move right there. Good footwork.
Just beautifully done. Smart has the ball here. Oklahoma State. Nash passed up, a chance to shoot. Found Brown. No good.
Last year, Nash would have shot that three. He took 118 of them his first 2 seasons. This year, only 2 3-point attempts.
So really, he's playing better, and he's changed the way that he plays.
There's no question.
Booker, long 2. His second make in the early going.
I call Ski Booker, he's like a punt returner. He doesn't know what a fair catch is. He's going to run a few back. He'll fumble a couple down inside his own 10-yard line, but he's going to play fearlessly.
They made the dramatic winning shot against Kansas. Pac-12 Player of the Week, Nash, with the foul.
One thing you'll see from Oklahoma State is a very unselfish team. And it doesn't start with Marcus Smart. It starts with Travis Ford, because he runs great actions to make sure that everybody touches the ball. Not one player will go more than a couple minutes without making sure he gets a scoring opportunity.
Head coach, a former point guard himself. His team plays as you would expect for a team that is coached by a guy who distributed the ball.
There's no question. Now, defensively, they're also going to change up and give Colorado a lot of looks. There's the pressure. Look at this.
Dinwiddie just kept going backwards, and they don't get it over.
Yep.
That's a 10-second violation.
Now, their man-to-man defense is their fastball, but they have a lot of different weapons. They'll play multitude of zones. They'll press. And right there, they caught Colorado napping.
And just a quick note, for the first time this year in college hoops, the officials don't use the hand count. They go by the shot clock for that 10-second violation. The shot clock hit 25. They blew the whistle. Nash faces up on the baseline and again gets himself into the lane. That's another foul against the Buffaloes.
Did you see the ISO there, Dave?
Yep.
They got Nash about 10 feet off the lane, and that's his strength. This past summer in Long Beach at Adidas Nations Camp, you had the best of the best college players there. Well, Brian Nash, in my opinion, Joel Embiid was there, Wayne Selden, Spencer Dinwiddie, Chaz Williams. Best inside player at the camp was Brian Nash.
Wow, that's high praise.
Played to his strengths.
Here is Marcus Smart from the outside. Good. He hits those shots. What are you going to do?
Well, when he hits those shots, he's very, very tough to guard.
Booker came up way short, airballed it.
Talked about the 2 outstanding point guards, 2 of the best in the country. Take a look. Spencer Dinwiddie starts it. The dime inside to Scott. And then Marcus Smart, the sophomore. The acrobatic move. We'll see a lot more of that tonight from both guys.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Happy holidays from all of us. We're at the MGM Grand, Oklahoma State with a 10-7 lead. Dave Fleming, Fran Fraschilla. Let's check in with our broadcast partner, Andy Katz.
Well, as you guys know, I mean, Marcus Smart had that phenomenal game against Memphis earlier in the season back in November. He had 39 points in that game, followed up with 25 and 30. And talking to Travis Ford, the beauty of Marcus Smart's game is he does what is needed on that particular game. This team doesn't need him to go for 20-plus points all the time. He senses where he is needed to contribute, and Ford loves the fact that he's got an extension on the court. In fact, during shoot-around, he was directing some of the players. He's become a coach on the floor for Travis Ford.
And I think Travis Ford, Dave, gives Marcus Smart a lot of leeway. He has an incredible feel for his teammates. The fact that he's only averaged 7 shots a game last 3 is an indication.
Here's O'Brien Nash. Little spin move. Good defense there by Colorado. Markel Brown attacks, and the follow attempt was missed by Cobbins. Justin Thomas, freshman in the game for Colorado, posting up against Nash. Booker was looking for Thomas, couldn't get it to him. Dinwiddie found a little opening himself, airballed the 3. Smart, good lead pass. Cobbins poked away, but out of bounds. Oklahoma State will keep it.
Good look by Marcus Smart. Cobbins ran the floor well.
Checking in the ball game now for the
Take a look. Run the floor. He'll get it to you. Just over the top. Good hustle play by Ski Booker.
So Cowboys make a couple substitutions. Phil Forte in for the first time. He'll get a catch here on the inbound. Sophomore Kamari Murphy also in the game for the Cowboys.
The Junkyard Dog is in the game, and there's a story behind that.
Okay, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Forte, great three-point shooter, hits his first attempt.
Well, Phil Forte was slumping a little bit behind the arc. 1 for 10 in his last game against Delaware State.
They left Dinwiddie wide open, still couldn't hit the shot. And the ball's out of bounds off of the Cowboys.
Phil Forte went 1 for 10. And he's still shooting 46% from 3.
Yeah, I was about to say slumping all the way down to 46%.
Exactly.
Cowboys on a 9-0 run. They lead 13-7. Forte, of course, with that special relationship with his teammate Marcus Smart.
That's been well chronicled. They've known each other since 4th grade. And one of the reasons Marcus Smart came to Oklahoma State is because Travis Ford intelligently recruited Phil Forte separately. Didn't make it a package deal.
Good catch, and then a very nice move. Ron Hopkins, the freshman from Mesa, Arizona.
Tad Boyle's got one of the youngest teams in the country. We'll be talking about guys like Fletcher and Hopkins and Scott. A good young talent.
Forte doesn't shoot a lot of 2s. Is he going to try one? Yeah, he did, and didn't make it.
In amongst the trees right there.
Tough spot for him. There's Thomas, had it knocked away. Stevie Clark, the freshman. And we welcome those of you joining us from the national championship game in volleyball. Penn State, congratulations to the Nittany Lions. Another national championship in volleyball. Dave Fleming, Fran Fraschilla, Andy Katz here in Las Vegas for a heck of a matchup. Top 20 teams, Oklahoma State and Colorado, 2 teams that know each other very well from the old days of the Big 12, and even going back before that. The Cowboys, 7th-ranked team in the country, have the early lead. Forte misses the 3, but Nash comes away with a loose ball.
Big play by Kamari Murphy. He has become a really, really good energy guy.
Nash draws a foul.
Dave, let me tell you what Brian Nash has done so far. He's drawn 4 Buffalo fouls in the first 13 minutes plus.
Well, Nash has played very well in the first half, but our headliners in this game, the 2 point guards, 2 of the best in the country.
No question about it. Marcus Smart leads his Oklahoma State team into the top 10, and But Buffalo's on a 10-game winning streak because of the play of Spencer Dinwiddie.
Marcus Smart talking to the bench. May well be. We have a lot of great players in college hoops this year. May be the best overall player in the country. And on the big stage, Las Vegas, a town made for big events in this arena. They've had so many big events over the years.
And he's made his mark here this past summer when he worked out with the Mike Krzyzewski's senior men's national team. All those NBA players came away impressed with both Marcus Smart and Doug McDermott of Creighton, who played very well.
Colorado ball. Buffaloes, who beaten Kansas already this year. Looking for another big win against a top 10 team. Hopkins finds Scott. Josh Scott, the sophomore, missed the jumper. Buffalo's crashing the glass. It's out of bounds off of Oklahoma State.
There's an example right there of where O'Brien Nash is going to continue to get better. He had inside defensive position and should have come away with that missed rebound.
Another whistle. That's a foul against the Cowboys.
Well, that ball was deflected by Stevie Clark, and Michael Cobbins was just going for it. He's asking John Higgins right now, what'd I do? Got an explanation, and he plays on. Junior from Amarillo, Texas. He's a fourth-year junior. Another one of those guys that has improved each year, along with Markel Brown, Brian Williams.
Dinwiddie trying to get by his man. Challenged on both ends. Cobbins couldn't quite secure the rebound. Dinwiddie has it. The Buffalo's offense has been ragged. That's another foul. A reach-in foul. Stevie Clark, the freshman from Oklahoma City, commits the personal.
One of the challenges for Colorado tonight is, can they get Josh Scott established inside? Now, he looks like a thin post player, but you're looking at a guy that's added 25, 30 pounds since a year ago, but still not a physical presence.
A very highly regarded player out of high school, stuck with his hometown Buffaloes. And has had some big moments, played well against Kansas in their win against the Jayhawks. Dinwiddie, he's got to like that matchup against Forte, but didn't get a shot off.
No, Forte forced him down to the baseline.
Dinwiddie steps through and scores.
That was really well done by Dinwiddie. He waited for Forte to clear. Dinwiddie's really good in the mid-range.
How about Smart feeling it, but missed the transition three. Dinwiddie loses it. Smart stole it away. A whistle and a foul against Spencer Dinwiddie. So a little bit of what Marcus Smart does. Timeout here in Vegas. For those of you watching on ESPNU, please switch over to ESPN2. You won't want to miss when we come back. Fran's going to tell us what makes Marcus so smart, what makes him so good. We'll have that when we come back.
Presented by K Jewelers.
Dave Fleming, Fran Fraschilla, Andy Katz back here in Las Vegas. 13-11, the early lead for Oklahoma State and their star Marcus Smart. Fran, you've been talking about what makes him such a good all-around player. It's not just all about the offense.
Without question, it's the defensive end, maybe even more so. Take a look. Watch him highlight it now. Watch how many things he can do on one possession. He's going to guard the screen and roll. First thing he does is he helps Stevie Clark get through. Then he's going to go back to his man. His man is going to post up. He's going to front the post. That's textbook, by the way, right there. Then he's going to play center field. Watch the trap. He's going to lurk, see what he's got. Okay, takes it away. Now, ball gets out of the trap, and he comes up with the steal. When you're talking about defensive versatility, it starts with Marcus Smart. I honestly believe, Dave, and in fact, I don't just believe this. I know he could guard any position in college basketball. There's not a player from Julius Randle on down to the quickest point guards that he could not guard. To me, it's a short list. You start with guys like him and Aaron Craft and go from there.
Yeah, that's part of what makes him such a special talent, such a leader for Oklahoma State. Marcus Smart and his Cowboys with a 2-point lead against a tough-minded Colorado team. 7th-ranked team against the 20th-ranked team in the country. A little bit more on Marcus Smart with Andy Katz.
And, you know, his overall presence has done so much for this Oklahoma State basketball team, including LeBron Nash. As Fran knows, he came in with so much hype when he came into college, wasn't able to live up to those expectations. Now Smart has taken that leadership role, making big shots, and allowed LeBron Nash to find his own spot, because Travis Ford allows Smart to be that leader on the floor and delegate.
Good point. Smart got the bucket on the other end, now playing defense against Askia Booker and helping point out the screen with his teammate.
And see, he'll guard Xavier Johnson in there.
He's doing exactly what you just pointed out.
No, there's really, honestly, there's nobody that he can't guard. Even if you put him on a center the entire game, he's
almost
that strong.
Stole the ball away and forced the miss from Booker. I mean, that was just a great possession to emphasize exactly what you were saying. Here's Williams, jumper off the mark. Robbins fighting for it, but it's out of bounds off of Michael Cobbins.
If there has been an Achilles heel for Oklahoma State over the last 3 or 4 games, is they're settling for too many quick contested shots when their ball movement is good. Here's another defensive look, 1-3-1. We've seen a press, we've seen the man, we've seen the 1-3-1.
And who's leading the way? Marcus Smart. Williams took a shot there. Sort of got tangled up with Xavier Talton. Talton, sophomore. Here's another Xavier Johnson, the left-hander. Strong move, it goes down.
Yeah, Xavier Johnson, a sophomore at a modern-day high school, a school that's produced the likes of Miles Simon, DJ Strawberry, Mike Hopkins will be the future coach at Syracuse, hopefully someday in the next millennium.
Well, there'll be a point where Coach Boeheim can't do it any longer. We'll see when. Good hustle by the Buffaloes. Booker comes away with it, and then the pass fumbled out of bounds. So that was not handled particularly well. Dustin Thomas couldn't grab it and finish.
One of those freshmen, he gives his buddy the pound. Dustin Thomas, he's a kid from Texarkana, Arkansas, so he's a long way from home. Tad Boyle did a good job recruiting Andre Robertson out of Texas.
Yeah, Booker just had an interesting moment. He went up to the freshman you're talking about, said, hey, if you want a lob, if that's what you want, you got to tell me, you got to point up. Brown elevates, rattled in and out, though. Johnson grabs a rebound. He's a good rebound.
Yeah, he really is. You know, he can play both the 3 and the 4. Again, he's that mobile 4-man, that guy that can play both inside and out, much like we talked about in that first game with Marquette's guy.
Thomas, quick spin move, but didn't finish. Brown comes away with a loose ball. And then a foul at mid-court by Jerron Hopkins.
And Markel Brown's the guy that has gotten better each year. The last 4 games, he struggled a little bit, only averaging 11 a game. But this Oklahoma State team has a lot of offensive versatility. It's going to be a game-to-game thing as far as who their go-to guys are, but he certainly has made himself into a very good player.
Markel Brown at the line, he shoots 1-1.
So into the bonus now, the Cowboys.
You know, I mentioned Kamari Murphy earlier. He's a young man. He's on the court right now who Travis Ford said, I want you to be a junkyard dog. And he didn't know what that meant. He thought it was like, you know, it wasn't a compliment. Someone had to explain to him, hey, a junkyard dog, that's a good thing. Eddie Sutton used to, that was the moniker that Eddie Sutton would put on the guys that he loved coaching the most, the Ivan McFarland type. So he's embraced it, Kamari Murphy.
2 for Brown.
Coaching staff told him yesterday, you're never going to be a pretty player. Play with energy.
We might have to update some of these terms with kids. Sometimes coaches use stuff that their coaches and their coaches' coaches use.
That's a great point.
Need a little hoops translator sometimes. Xavier Johnson with the spin move, but he traveled. Got off balance there, and the junkyard dog first forced a turnover. Meanwhile, we get a chance to remind you that Holiday Hoops over in Hawaii. The quarterfinals start on Sunday. Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. We'll go through those brackets a little bit more as we go on with this game here from Las Vegas tonight. Another good team in the Big 12 featured in that tournament, Iowa State. There's Murphy baseline. A good rebound and then a whistle and a foul. Hopkins went high to snatch it away.
There's 351 teams in college basketball. This team is the 337th most experienced Colorado young team.
Yeah, young team. You see some experience with some of those clubs. Iowa State's got a lot of players back from a good team. Oregon State, St. Mary's still undefeated. Boise State good team from the Mountain West, part of that tournament.
Let me tell you a name to remember as you watch Big 12 play this year, and you'll watch it a lot and cover it. Dustin Hogue, who's a double-double guy right now for Fred Hoiberg, junior college transfer. You know, George Niang and Melvin Edgem certainly get a lot of credit, but Dustin Hogue has come in out of junior college, plays with great toughness. His brother Doug played the NFL for 3 years, and Dustin's translated that same toughness to the Cyclone basketball team.
Spencer Dinwiddie inbounds the ball to Xavier Johnson. The Colorado ball down 3. Has not been a pretty first half so far. 2 tough guy teams, good defensive teams.
No, that's exactly right. And I didn't expect it to be anything else.
Yeah, pretty in its own way.
Oh, if you know what, if you're a coach and you love defense, hey, this Colorado team's going to be tough at home.
Booker just was not going to pass it there.
No doubt, no doubt.
He was going to shoot. And he ties the game.
I said earlier about Colin Neal, Booker's one of those guys who'll keep both teams in the game.
That's a turnover.
But when he's cooking.
So tie game here in Las Vegas sends us to a timeout. Marcus Smart talking to the official. Booker getting it done for Colorado. His head coach, Tad Boyle, will chat with Andy Katz when we come back. 16-16 score.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. Audi, Truth in Engineering, and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Great city for college hoops. Las Vegas, Nevada here getting to the holiday times at the MGM Grand tie game. 7:52 to go in the first half. Moments ago, the Colorado head coach, Tad Boyle, visited with Andy Katz.
All right, Tad, that last shot by Askew Booker obviously evened things up. What needs to change, though, offensively to get a little bit more rhythm?
Well, we're holding on the ball. We're dribbling it too much. We're not moving it side to side, and we're not getting it inside. We got to do a better job. We're not executing very well offensively. It's a tie score.
Appreciate it, Tad.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, otherwise, everything great on offense for Colorado.
Both teams have done a really good job. Let me tell you what Oklahoma State does. Colorado's such a pick-and-roll oriented team. They're not letting the ball get to the middle of the floor, and so you're not getting ball reversals. And anytime you can keep a defense on one side of the floor, you can load up with 5 defenders.
Dinwiddie just goes right by Smart, finds Scott, who missed the shot. And maybe that's part of what you're talking about. Needs to be a little stronger under the basket. Meanwhile, Smart with the left hand.
Right to the rim. Tad Boyle's not going to like that. You got to build your defense with 5 white shirts against Marcus Smart. And that's a good call by Rick Randall. It's a foolish play by Marcus Smart. Last year as a freshman, he got himself into foul trouble way too much. Watch this move. You see, they're not setting their defense, and there's no keeping the ball from getting to the paint.
Good foul against the Cowboys, who have a 2-point lead. Oklahoma State playing defense here against Colorado. Trying for a little backdoor kind of play, tipped away and stolen. Markel Brown on the move. Brown, reverse off the glass.
How about that? He's a guy that, hey, you guys are back in Bristol. There'll be a dunk contest at the Final Four. Remember Markel Brown.
He can dunk with anybody. Meanwhile, Marcus Smart just reached in and committed his second personal.
This is something that he's got to learn to stay away from. That's his second foul. He's going to go to the bench. Last year, he did that far too often. He's so competitive that he takes himself out of the play by committing a silly foul.
Got to be smarter than that.
No pun intended.
Maybe it was intended.
Although, man, you are a Stanford guy, so it probably was intended.
Here's Dinwiddie trying to get the ball from Scott. And Oklahoma State now really has to lean on the defense with Smart on the bench with the 2 fouls.
See, anytime there's a side pick and roll, that time they did get to the middle of the floor.
Dinwiddie in the corner. Jump stop and scores.
Well, he's got really good size at 6'5", and the coaching staff of Colorado actually wants him to shoot more, especially that mid-range shot.
Stevie Clark was trying to slip the pass to Cobbins and threw it away. Dinwiddie had it poked away, hit the ground hard, and now Clark falls right on top of him. Meanwhile, Brown, not a dunk, but a high flyer for the rejection.
Well, Dinwiddie got spun around by Clark. That could have been called a foul, and then Clark accidentally fell on top of him. But you saw the athleticism of Markel Brown.
Dinwiddie gets up. He's okay.
You know, it's a good criticism to have, but there's times when Spencer Dinwiddie should be more aggressive for his own shot. And right now he's got a size advantage over Stevie Clark.
Dinwiddie gets the ball and dribbles to the baseline. Overshot is marked, but the offensive rebound on the weak side from Fletcher.
I like the aggressiveness. There's no way that Clark's going to bother his jump shot, although having said that, Dinwiddie just shot an air ball.
Nash down low to Brian Nash. Did he have it stripped away? Almost. That's a jump ball. Good play by Trayshawn Fletcher. Got the basket on the other end. Good defense on this end.
You know what I like about Fletcher there? He waited for Nash to put it on the floor, and then he pounced. Oftentimes, a coach will tell his players, come and trap on the catch, or wait until that big man goes one bounce, and now you kind of pounce.
Tad Boyle calls out some offense for his young Colorado team. 5:30 to go, first half, tie game.
I mentioned it earlier. How tough will they be at home this year in the Pac-12?
Well, they have lost very few games in 4 years with Tad Boyle at home. 3 missed from the corner by Thomas. Brown, a little hesitation, draws a foul. Kind of a savvy play there from Markel Brown. We get a chance to remind you tomorrow, Sunday, it's UConn, the women first and then the men. The top-ranked team in the country on the women's side. UConn hosting California at 1 Eastern on ESPN. And then later, 3:30 Eastern, UConn and the Huskies of Washington from Seattle.
The Huskies needing to rebound from the loss at home to the Stanford Cardinal the other night. Washington with C.J. Wilcox, the 50-year senior out of Utah, is an outstanding scorer, shooter. And the freshman Nigel Williams-Goss, who played right here at Findlay Prep in Las Vegas.
Yeah, which has fed so many top players to college hoops over the last several years.
And a teammate of Marcus Smart this past summer on the United States World Championship Under-19 team.
Marcus Smart on the bench with 2 fouls. He committed them within the span of about a minute of action. Colorado. Talton bringing the ball up against pressure. Booker now just gets it across. He already committed 1 10-second violation earlier in the half.
See Oklahoma State now back in the zone. They play 3-2. They play 2-3.
The lefty Fletcher got knocked to the ground. No whistle. Missed the shot. Clark, a long 3, no good. And a rebound controlled by Scott.
That's that quick shot mentality we've talked about early in the year. Oklahoma State very patient.
Talton commits the offensive foul. Santa Claus wasn't happy under the basket. Colorado fan. Yeah, still not happy. It's the holidays. Come on, Santa's supposed to be in a good mood.
My Santa Claus is a little chunkier than that guy. That guy's been working out.
Yeah, you're supposed to work out in the opposite direction. Nash had it stripped away again. Another scramble for the ball and a jump ball. Trying to get a timeout. Couldn't do it.
You see the strategy with Nash. Anytime he starts to put that ball on the ground, Colorado's going to pounce on it. They're going to dig it out of Nash's hands, and they're doing a good job with that.
Markel Brown will check out of the game. Here's the Brian Nash. The junior came to Oklahoma State. One of the most heralded recruits in that program's history.
Watch the help. Yep. See the dig right there?
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that is, remember, we chronicled first 6-7 minutes of the game. He drew 5 Colorado fouls. So Tad Boyle's adjustment is, let's not let this guy play one-on-one. Let's attack him off the dribble. It's a double team, really.
A big part of the reason why the Cowboys in the double bonus was still 4+ minutes to go. Forte finds Nash. The double team came and Fletcher swatted away from behind.
Again, good swarming of Nash. They ran their inbounds play where they post Nash in the lane. Look how deep he is. And then Nash looking to draw contact. And there was a little bit of a break in verticality there. That could have been called a foul, but good defense anyway, at least the intent.
Forte 3 was short. Murphy grabs the offensive rebound. Backs his way in, had it stripped away. It goes off of the leg of a Buffaloes player, though. 29 on the shot clock, Cowboys ball. Still Marcus Smart on the bench with the 2 personals.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we see him back in there. He played in a game last year at West Virginia where he picked up 3 fouls in the first half, and it actually turned out to be a key because the Cowboys went on to win that game without really much of a contribution from Marcus Smart.
Coaches don't forget that kind of stuff, though. Nash on the break. Murphy, layup, good.
Saw Nash handle the ball. He loves to get that ball in transition. That time a good decision by Brian Nash. Dallas Lincoln High School, the same school that produced Chris Bosh. His half-brother, Byron Eaton, was a very good player at Oklahoma State.
Booker. Good. Skia Booker makes it a 2-point game. He's got 10 in the first half.
He's been impressive. You know what? He's played with good rhythm and pace.
Which you don't always say about him. He's a talented guy, but that's not always his mentality. The mentality of the junkyard dog.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, if the junkyard dog is barking, you got to take care of him. There's the steal by Nash. Kamari Murphy runs the floor. Woof, woof.
Woof, woof.
Fantastic finishes today. How Illinois knocked Missouri from the ranks of the unbeaten, and some other ranked teams fall as well. Plus, the bowl season kicking off with a thriller in New Mexico. Washington State fumbles away victory in a finish you've got to see to believe. Seth Greenberg, you and me, coming up at the half.
In Las Vegas, 24-22, Oklahoma State, 3:11 to go in the first half. The Cowboys with the lead, 7th-ranked team in the country. Dave Fleming, Grant Paschilla, Andy Katz. Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers from this city of lights in the desert, which has become a great destination for college hoops. The Pac-12 tournament, the WCC tournament, the Mountain West tournament postseason, but now more teams showing up here, even in neutral court type venues to play regular season games.
I love this right before Christmas. You know, my idea is play 4 games in one day here at the MGM. The fans are right here in the hotel. It's an easy walk to the arena. And you know what? After exams and before you send your kids home for Christmas break, a neutral site game where you don't have to worry about going and playing a true road game. We've had fun with these 2 today.
Next year, let's bring in 8 teams, play 4 games. We'll go wall-to-wall hoops.
Let's do all 4 games, too.
Okay, I'm up for it.
Forget Jimmy Dykes and Dan Dockich and those guys. Let's do all 4 of them.
Sorry, Jimmy. Sorry, Dan.
Hey, by the way, Jimmy and I are going to be talking basketball next week, buddy, as Missouri goes to NC State.
No play-by-play announcer, just a terrible idea, but we're going through with it anyway. Booker for 3.
How about Ski Booker? There was some talk of the coaching staff, maybe they should bring him off the bench before that Kansas game, and that all changed when he hit that last-second shot, but he has really been in the flow tonight.
He's a Pac-12 Player of the Week. I think our own Andy Katz had him as his National Player of the Week.
When he's on the court, he takes 1/3 of the Buffalo shots.
Yes, he likes to shoot.
And rightfully so, because when he's on, as he is tonight, he's a weapon.
And they have a lot of good players, role players on this team. They don't have a lot of scores on this team.
I totally agree. There's another look at that 3-2 zone by Oklahoma State. Stevie Clark at the point.
Talton, tough shot to tip in. Attempt no good. Markel Brown on the move. Brown almost carried the ball, then missed it.
Oklahoma State really trying to attack in transition. There's Booker.
Wow. Rejected again by the Cowboys. That Brown again?
You know, Markel Brown is a great shot blocker, heading towards 100 career blocks for a guard.
Oh, he's listed at 6'3".
Yep. He's got the most blocks in Cowboy history from the guard spot. Look at that play.
Picks up an assist.
Yep.
Found his teammate Michael Cobbins.
You know, he really wasn't undiscovered as people were kind of making him out to be. He was the Louisiana Player of the Year when he was a senior, and they went 41-0, and he averaged 32 points a game. But he's certainly gotten better.
Booker missed the 3 that time, and Brown with the rebound. Now Marcus Smart on the floor. He's the guy for the Cowboys.
That's right.
Quick timeout for Travis Ford. We'll be right back to Vegas. 2-point lead for the Cowboys. Capital One Bowl Week continues Monday on ESPN. It's the Beef O'Brady's Bowl. Fran's Ohio Bobcats taking on the East Carolina Pirates. Beef O'Brady Bowl, part of Capital One Bowl Week. Monday, 2 Eastern on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. You can claim them, Ken.
Court Street, baby. I spent 6 great years in Athens, Ohio, one of the great college towns in America.
Nobody has any fun there.
Halloween. Oh, it's great. We had some really fun times, great teams down there. I worked for Danny Nee, Billy Hahn.
This is a pretty fun town, too, Las Vegas.
Well, yeah, I'd say it's a little bit bigger than Athens, Ohio. But Frank Solich's done a good job there. Good defense by Ski Booker out of the timeout. They tried to get Forte. Look at the ISO now.
Brian Nash got knocked off balance, didn't get the call. So Colorado pushing LeBrian Nash around a little bit down low.
Well, what they're doing is they're waiting till he puts the ball on the floor. And that's scouting report defense right there.
Yeah, well executed.
Yeah, a lot of guys who play in the post don't pass well off the dribble. So you don't double team him until he starts to put it on the floor. And that's exactly what the Buffaloes have done in the first half.
Shot clock down to 4. Brown, very tough contested shot is good.
Let me tell you who's going to be impressed with that. About the 30 scouts behind us, because getting your own shot in the NBA is a skill. Good example right there.
Interesting that Colorado was not slowing it up. There was very little difference between game clock and shot clock, so the idea of a 2-for-1 was sort of far-fetched. They were aggressive, though, and they draw a foul. I wish more teams would try for 2-for-1.
You know what? Bill Self does it. I remember one time last year I said, oh, that's not a good shot. And I looked up at the clock and I went, nope, they went 2-for-1. You know why college coaches don't do it? They don't want their alumni to say, why is that coach letting his team take bad shots? Even though, to me, one bad shot and a good shot is better than one good shot.
Spoken like a former head coach.
Yeah, well, I can make those decisions over here, Dad, and I'm always right. But really, college coaches, by and large, don't play 2-for-1. And they don't work on it in practice.
Andrew Smart still trying to be a leader for his team on the bench with a couple of fouls. Andrew Johnson has not had an easy time with things in this first half. Makes 1 of 2.
Now, this is a one-shot situation.
No 2-for-1 with the shot clock off.
Freshman King from San Antonio is going to get a piece of Markel Brown. This usually involves a pick and roll here. See the referee trying to get a count. Here's the pick and roll.
Down to 5. Brown foul.
And 1. Tell you what, Colorado. That screen was set so far out on the floor, it gave more. Watch how high out the screen is. There's so much room, and he goes right by the big guy, Mills, and there's a grab and then the finish at the rim. Look how far out the screen and roll is.
I like it. Well designed.
It is, and let me tell you why. Most teams screen at the top of the key. When you screen that far out, the defender's got to go over, under. There's a lot more indecision, and it creates more driving room for Markel Brown.
And he went with the screen with enough time to make something happen. So still, in fact, 3.9 seconds on the clock. He completes the three-point play. Colorado can get a shot off here.
Timeout.
Tad Boyle calls a timeout.
Use it or lose it. I think they're going to ask to put time back on and take it out from the baseline. Let's see if they go to the monitor.
Yeah, that's what he's arguing. And the officials may talk about it. I think Tad was saying.
I called it before the ball came in.
Yeah.
And if not, they'll have it three-quarter court. It looks like they're going to put it on the baseline and change the clock back to 3.9.
Yeah. So that's not a review. They don't need to look at a monitor. They just have to decide, okay, should we give it to him?
That's exactly right. It's a timing issue. You can go to the monitor and check it. Now, right here, if you're Tad Boyle, and I've said this, and it's now, I did this a long time ago, and it's now caught on. If you catch the ball cleanly, you have 4 dribbles. Why do I know that? We used to practice this every day. We used to put guys on the baseline and show them that we don't have to shoot it from three-quarter court when 4 dribbles will get us down the court. In order to do that, you got to catch it on the move and heading towards the basket you're trying to score.
I love that system. It drills into your players' minds exactly what does 3.9 seconds mean.
And you never have to look up at the clock. By the way, it's 4 dribbles or 3 dribbles and a pass.
Yeah.
And we worked on that too. Got to be careful you don't throw it full court out of bounds here, because then Oklahoma State will take the ball back underneath their basket.
Get it into King. 1, 2, 3 dribbles and a shot, and it's short. But the point still stands.
Got what you wanted to get, just didn't go in.
Well, we talked so much about the point guards, Marcus Smart and Spencer Dinwiddie. Not maybe as huge of a part of the story of this game as we might have expected. Let's update those numbers as Travis Ford is pretty heated with the officials there. Marcus Smart, when he's on the court, played very well.
Yeah, quiet night both ways. Marcus Smart, 2 cheap fouls, and Spencer Dinwiddie, let's see him get more aggressive in the second half.
All right, Andy Katz.
Presented by K Jewelers.
Holiday time in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're just off the strip. Hey, we're on the strip. 32-26, start of the second half. Oklahoma State has the lead. Santa Claus here in town. Yeah, rooting for the Buffaloes. Their team down by 6. Here inside the MGM Grand, Dave Fleming alongside Fran Fraschilla, along with Andy Katz. We talked so much at the outset about Marcus Smart, maybe the best player in all of college hoops. He was very effective, Fran, when he was on the court before he got into foul trouble.
Exactly right. We saw him get to the rim. He's got great combination of speed and quickness. He showed that to us early in this half. Take a look at Marcus Smart coming at you. The spin move, the finish at the rim, and then in transition, right to the cup, easily done. But watch this now. See, he's going to body up to Dinwiddie, then he's going to challenge him, picks up a cheap foul, comes right back with another cheap foul. Can't be about him and Spencer Dinwiddie. It's got to be about his team. So guess what? Markel Brown said, you know what? I'm a senior. I'll take over. I'll create my own. Big basket at the end of the half. The three-point play by Markel Brown.
So Brown found a way to fill the void when Smart was on the bench. Look at the shot chart. Markel Brown, he's a guard, but he's very good at getting to the rim.
No question. Athletic. He creates his own shot. That's a skill we talked about. And he picked up where Marcus Smart left off when he went to the bench.
On the other side of things, that one-on-one matchup, we were so focused on Spencer Dinwiddie, who's an NBA prospect in his own right, a junior from Los Angeles. Point guard, sort of an unorthodox point guard for the Buffaloes, and he had a quiet first half.
Well, for him, it's not about scoring points, but as the coaching staff has said on a number of occasions, he sometimes can be too unselfish. He's got to stay aggressive, whether it's passing or scoring.
Let's check in with Andy Katz. Andy?
Well, I just spoke with Tad Boyle, the Colorado head coach. He says, look, we should be down 20. We're only down 6. We have not played well, and to only be down 6, that gives us a chance. We've got to make shots, obviously, and get the ball inside.
Colorado team that knocked off Kansas at home earlier, about a week ago or so. 32-26, Oklahoma State with the lead. Colorado, though, has the ball to start the second half.
Little pin down action for Dinwiddie. Usually there's a ball screen involved. Here comes Scott.
Brown trying to funnel him to his left, and Dinwiddie didn't really want to go that direction.
And he's got no choice the way they're playing him.
Dinwiddie this time does go left, uses the right hand to score, though.
The thing that you like about that is he avoided any opportunity to run everybody over, and he shot that ball softly off the glass.
So like Tad told our own Andy Katz, it's just a 4-point game. All the problems that Colorado has, they're right in this game. Brian Williams to Markel Brown. I love the way he elevates on that jump.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, to see the screen that was set for him, Oklahoma State is one of the better execution teams in the country. Both teams have come right out of the chute, executing and scoring. Here's a little brush screen on the ball screen for Dinwiddie. Take a look. Just a little, enough to get to the rim. Cobbins doesn't challenge because he releases it before. But look at that down screen right there by O'Brien Nash. Just enough room to free Markel Brown off the catch.
Buffalo's ball. Skia Booker was the big scorer for Colorado in the first half. They'll need more of that from him.
Well, let's see the adjustment they make. It's going to be Brian Williams is going to have a piece of Booker, who's 6'5" and long. So can he slow Booker down? Booker's going to get his shots up, Dave.
Gordon trying to enter the ball down low. They left him wide open, so he shoots it and makes it.
Wow. Gordon's not a guy that you think he's going to beat you out there. First 3 of his career, in fact.
That looks pretty smooth.
It sure did. He's missed a couple games as well. He's just getting his feet wet.
And it was a 2.
Okay.
Foot was on the line, but still the point is understood. Booker in transition. Booker!
Pretty good move by Booker. Brian Williams tried to poke it free. Booker got it to the rim.
Marcus Smart, after sitting out the final, 7 minutes of the half in foul trouble, back on the court here. See if he can get it revved up again.
Well, they're going to run offense. Like we said earlier, they do a good job of making sure everybody gets a touch. They pick out mismatches.
Smart trying to take Dinwiddie here. Smart into traffic, throws up a wild one. Cobbins got his hand on the ball, but it's out of bounds. And that might have been Marcus Smart forcing the issue a little bit.
Well, what's happened with Marcus Smart is, as a freshman, and he invites contact. Officials are not giving him that call when they feel like he's just throwing it up there, looking and searching for contact.
It's almost like as he's played more and more games at this level, officials have sort of gotten used to that.
No, I think they're used to his style. He's a very aggressive player. We know that.
Dinwiddie with Booker. Williams right on top of him. Shot clock already winding down. Booker knows it. Booker with a shot fake. Gordon will shoot another jumper, not this time.
That time Brian Williams made sure he was going to glove Booker, who was looking to get loose.
Ryan Nash, a little shot fake into the lane. Smart shoots a three, got knocked to the ground and fouled. Xavier Johnson, not a very smart play, trying to challenge the shot, okay, but commits a foul.
That pass came from Brian Nash at 6'7", about 230. There's the kick out. Take a look now. I just wanted to see if there was any lower body contact. Sometimes the shooter will invite that contact, but more importantly, great kick out by LeBron Nash, who a year ago would have forced that ball up, and instead made a great decision.
Smart misses the free throw. And you see this sometimes even with the very best of players. There's LeBron Nash, the guy Fran's talking about, with the pass to create the free throw opportunities, but a kid sits on the bench the final half of a half, then has the whole halftime. It could take a while to get going again. Marcus Smart has missed the first two.
Now, he's only a 70% three-point shooter, and we remember early in the year when he was red hot behind the line. But the regression to the mean, is that a Stanford term?
Yeah, we use that every once in a while.
Yeah, it's back to where we thought he would shoot, which is around 33% from behind the arc and only around 70 from the line. So it's an area that still must be improved.
It's been sort of an erudite broadcast, hasn't it?
I dropped it. You know, I'm sitting next to a bright guy. You're rubbing off. You know,
that's an offensive foul. Well, you got a kid at Harvard. You got to impress him.
He's a lot smarter than me.
That might be listening.
There's a good example of Smart. Take a look now. Watch him frustrate Xavier Johnson. Look at his lower body. There's no hand action. And have we seen that before?
Yeah.
That's cerebral.
And it's the technique too, but also the strength to be able to hold your ground.
Exactly. I'm telling you, he can guard any spot.
Markel Brown, baseline. He is playing very well.
How about that? UB would love this guy, right?
UB would love it.
Because he's going to score at a high rate inside the arc. Okay, we all know this. Okay?
Wouldn't be a late night in Vegas without a little UB.
Come on.
One of the best guards we have in this league.
Exactly.
We love him.
And they say that in the Big 12, by the way, about Markel Brown.
And he is big-time athlete. Scott,
left hand.
But they waved off the basket. No continuation. In UB's league, that would have been a basket.
Exactly. He's scoring at a high rate in the painted area. Okay.
More UB when we come back to Vegas. Cowboys lead by 5.
Kevin Durant took the college basketball world by storm in 2007, leading the Big 12 in scoring and rebounding as a freshman. For his efforts, he became the first freshman to win the Wooden Award.
Good memories of the great Kevin Durant, his college days. Update our one-on-one two Wooden Award candidates. Our Wendy's Wooden Watch, Marcus Smart, Spencer Dinwiddie. And both guys have played well at times. The foul trouble's been a problem for Marcus Smart.
No, I agree. No assist. That's a little bit of surprise. But again, both of these guys, it's not really about scoring points. For Marcus Smart, it's definitely not about the stats. It's all about winning. And I'm sure Spencer Dinwiddie, the same way. Both of these guys represented the United States this summer. We mentioned Smart. Spencer Dinwiddie played on the World University Games team for Bob McKillop, John Beeline, Frank Martin.
Bob McKillop almost pulled a big upset.
Yeah, sure did.
Road.
That's the least skilled North Carolina team I can remember in a long time. Got some athleticism. They're not going to have P.J. Hairston the rest of the year, but it's shocking to me that a program of such magnitude has guys that can't score.
Yeah, Marcus Page has played really well.
Yes, he has. He really has. And James Michael McAdoo is who he is. He's played very well.
Scott, spin move. That left hand we saw a moment ago.
Exactly. Very skilled with both hands. Josh Scott, as you mentioned, right down I-25 from Boulder in Colorado Springs, where he was a top 100 player.
He ought to be able to score a lot of points using that left hand. Brown travel, turnover, Cowboys.
Take a look at Josh Scott here. Big question when he was recruited was, how are you going to use me, Coach Boyle? And they said, hey, look, we got a plan for you. And you see what he's already accomplished in his first year and a half. Very effective young big guy.
I think the Buffaloes are happy to see that. The scoring in this game on both sides has been very perimeter heavy. Scott trying to get something going down low. Nowhere to go with the ball. Towards us, out of bounds. Turnover.
You know, just a freshman mistake right there from Trayshawn Fletcher, the young guy out of Tacoma, Lincoln High School.
Those are the numbers we're talking about. The guards scoring on both sides. Huge percentage of the points in this game. Ryan Nash. Step back and scores.
Smooth move. Remember we talked about in the first half how quickly they closed on Nash when he put it on the floor. No double team that time.
Quickly the other way. Fletcher maybe makes up for that mistake.
Yep. One of those very promising athletic wing players. Tad Boyle's got a boatload of those guys.
He does. Not quick enough to keep up with Markel Brown. A quick first step, he draws a foul.
And you look at guys like Fletcher and King, and of course Jerron Hopkins, and Wesley Gordon's only a freshman as well, red shirt.
I think it's pretty easy to see what type, body type, skill type that Tad Boyle likes.
No, absolutely. You know, switchable kind of guys that can play multiple positions.
Buzz Williams kind of guy.
That's exactly right. It's a term Buzz Williams uses often. You did your homework.
Three-point game. Marcus Smart, Brown, Nash, double team, and out of bounds.
Well, there's one thing we've seen, and that is LeBron Nash has struggled with double teams tonight. They came quick, closed, and he was caught in that corner.
You think Big 12 teams will be taking notes?
No question. No question about it. He's got to be able to make a quick move or kick it out.
One of those freshmen travels. Wesley Gordon. Diamond Head Classic. Holiday hoops over in Hawaii. The Hawaiian Airlines Diamond Head Classic. It all starts on Sunday. Quarterfinals include Iowa State, Oregon State, St. Mary's, South Carolina. Marcus Smart doesn't give us enough time to talk about the Diamond Head. Too fast, too strong, too good.
He got right to the rim. He was looking for contact. That time the Buffaloes parted the sea. You think Randy Bennett was watching Cullen Neal tonight? Young man who signed with St. Mary's and put on a show for the Lobos. It's got to be breaking your heart a little bit.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. You pointed out Randy Bennett was very gracious, wanted to play for his dad. Dinwiddie way off on the three. And now the breakout for Brown. Brown and Smart in the open court. Brown draws the foul. And Marcus Smart, his teammate, claps for him, gives him a high five. Might not have been a passing lane there to give it up to Smart.
You know what Markel Brown did, which I really like? Watch the Euro step here at the end. All good young college guards are adding that move to their repertoire. See the sidestep?
Yep.
And the defender's not. He thinks he thinks he's got a chance at a charge, and you just slide right by him.
Playing very well tonight. 2 free throws. First one good. The most famous Euro step of the season so far. Had a little different style, but was Askia Booker against Kansas.
Exactly. That was the 3-point version.
Yeah.
Yep. Looked like a travel, but it was just an awkward sequence of footwork. And, of course, that shot will be remembered for a long time in Boulder.
Signature win in the history of the Buffaloes program. There's Booker.
Exactly. By the way, I said it looked like a travel. It certainly wasn't.
Yeah, it was not.
It was just really good footwork.
Brown got a big ovation from Cowboys fans who are here in good numbers as he goes to the bench. Booker and the Buffaloes need some offense.
There's that little 1-3-1 press we saw in the first half. Cowboys, yeah, they mix it up and cause turnovers.
Gordon trying to force it in there on the break. And the shot, a foul. Brian Nash, who does, as you say, like to handle the ball in the open.
He does. When he's got room to maneuver, he's really tough. Now, Spencer Dinwiddie didn't think he got any arm here, but the point was Nash at 6'7", 230. Very agile. He's Spencer Dinwiddie trying to sell it to John Higgins. But watch as he comes right at you. This is a big guy in transition. Boy, it looked like all ball, didn't it?
Yeah. Comes up short on the free throw. Well, Dinwiddie, you can see why he was upset there. Let's watch it again.
Oh yeah, and by it's all ball, and even if he had hand is part of the ball.
Cost him a point. Nash makes one of two. This is the biggest lead for the Cowboys all game.
It's been methodical too. Both teams have been very good defensively. They made it difficult to score. You see a little more zone here, or it's like man-to-man.
Dinwiddie might have had a layup, gave it up. He'll shoot the three from the corner and make it.
Again, Spencer Dinwiddie's got to start to be a little bit more aggressive and search for his own offense.
He's got 9. Marcus Smart listening to his head coach. Travis Ford calls out a play. Here comes a screen. Smart pull up 2. Off the glass, no good. He was calling for a foul. Scott does draw the foul.
Good look by Dinwiddie. Scott did a nice job of running the floor, beating Kamari Murphy to the spot. He took his time and drew contact.
Well, the Buffaloes are a tough-minded team, so a long way to go in this game. The lead was 8 just a moment ago. And Scott will be at the free throw line. Oh, but he's got a cut, so he's got to get that cleaned up before he can shoot the free throws.
You know, I mentioned this very early in the broadcast, but I don't think I expounded, Dave. One of the things Tad Boyle did for Spencer Dinwiddie as a freshman was he started Nate Tomlinson, the Aussie, the senior point guard, with Dinwiddie. And Dinwiddie wasn't a pure point guard. He was co-piloting the offense. Took a lot of pressure off him as a freshman, able to score some more. Last 2 years, you're seeing the maturation of a really good, big, playmaking point guard.
Right, let him grow into the role. Don't put all the pressure on him right away, and Dinwiddie has done just that. So Scott taped up, patched up, makes the first of 2 free throws. Markel Brown was not out for very long.
And the interesting thing about this guy, the highest rated Buffalo recruit since Chauncey Billups. Just an indication of the way the Buffalo's program has grown over the last 4 years.
They just haven't had a lot of those over the course of the many years of their program. Things are different now in Boulder. Nash had good position and scores.
See, there's that we talked about. Travis Ford knows when to get Brian Nash a shot. Great screen across by Phil Forte, who put his body on the defender, and then Nash did the rest. That was a power move.
Gordon back to Hopkins. 3 no good. Scott over the back. And Colorado fans thought he just tapped into himself, but that's a foul against Josh Scott. Timeout in Las Vegas. Final 11:31 still to go. 46-40. Oklahoma State leads.
Oklahoma State leads 46-40. Watch this execution by the Cowboys. That's a screen for Brian Nash away from the ball. They come right back with Forte, and they bring Nash back to the ball, and then he does the rest. And let me tell you, as good a move as that was by Brian Nash, Phil Forte at 5'10" stuck his nose in there and set a good screen across. You know what that reminded me of? John Stockton screening for Karl Malone. There was a playoff game once where Barkley busted Stockton's nose on a cross screen. They went to the timeout, and Stockton told Jerry Sloan, "You run that play again, I'm getting even." And that's what Phil Forte did right there.
Yeah, so tough guy play from one of the littlest guys on the floor.
Josh Scott, who wears number 40, will now be wearing number 34.
56-40. There's Forte. By the way, one of the officials just came over to tell us, and it's worth pointing out, Josh Scott, because he had blood on the jersey wearing number 40, has switched to 34 during the timeout. So we appreciate that communication. Forte, the shot fake, and fouled on the three. Couldn't quite get it to go, but he'll shoot 3 free throws.
What did Phil Forte do on the previous play before the timeout?
He set a very good screen.
Okay, what did Travis Ford do out of the timeout?
Rewarded with a shot.
How about that? That's what I'm talking about. Travis Ford has a good feel for his team. Multiple weapons, so he knows when someone needs an opportunity to score.
You have any other questions for me?
No, that's it. The Socratic method, my friend, right? Mr. Socrates, Mr. Stanford, big shot there. Mr. Farm guy.
I didn't see that one coming.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's coming from a Harvard parent. Forte makes the second of 3 free throws. A very rare free throw miss, by the way.
I know
Forte, he missed one all year. 31 of 32 coming into this game.
What was that? 97%, I think.
Yeah.
Just dropped to like 95, maybe 94.
Made the next 2.
If I were really smart, I'd figure it out right now. Little 2-2-1. See, they keep changing their defenses.
And they use Forte in this defense.
Remember, Phil Forte was recruited to Oklahoma State because they were graduating a guy by the name of Keaton Page, who's on the end of that bench, who's a very similar player.
Yeah, a very good player for the Cowboys. There's Scott, rejected by Nash. Forte with the hustle, but he saved it right into Scott, who scored.
Well, that's an error of commission by Phil Forte. Travis Ford will be upset, but hard to be upset with the hustle, but you got to be smart about saving that ball.
Great entry from Smart to Murphy.
Boy, how good a job. How good a delivery was that, and give Kamari Murphy a credit for doing a great job of sealing his man.
10.5 to go, back to an 8-point lead. Dinwiddie picked up the dribble. I think they still need more from Spencer Dinwiddie on this end of the floor. Good skip look. And the 3 goes down for Trayshawn Fletcher.
Now, he's a guy that's not a great shooter, about 27%, but these freshmen are growing. They're going to be ready for Pac-12 play. Tad Boyle's done a good job of getting them a lot of minutes.
Here's Marcus Smart. Another good pass, this time Nash.
How about that? Little curl screen. Anytime you run a tight curl like that, the big guy cannot help up.
Not a great pass on the other end from Dinwiddie, and a turnover.
Really good IQ execution. This is an execution culture that we talk about with Oklahoma State. Watch the defenders show up. There's the slip to the rim. Good job by LeBron Nash. Good basketball. Good two-man game.
Smart trying for two-man basketball there, and a foul. Brown was shoved to the ground. So a pushing foul against Colorado. So they were trying to run another kind of set play.
Got a feeling that if there wasn't a foul, Smart would have got his 3rd assist on 3 possessions.
I think Kamari Murphy, by the way, trying to tell Marcus Smart that he made a good play, almost broke his nose. Smart didn't look all that happy about it.
You know, one of the things that goes, I don't think it goes unnoticed, but the reason Marcus Smart is such a good leader is because his intensity rubs off on everybody. He's a coach on the floor. He's got incredible confidence, and he doesn't care much about his own stats, but his teammates' stats. We've seen that in the last 3 possessions.
Oklahoma State already in the bonus. Brown earns a 2nd free throw. 19 already. He's had some big scoring games this season, and feels like he's on his way to another one.
Remember, this is a guy in the last 4 games, including that Memphis loss at Old Spice, who was only averaging about 11. Now, 3 of those games were blowouts, and he didn't get the same amount of minutes.
Look at the free throw disparity, too. Oklahoma State getting to the line.
Tell you what, look at Markel Brown. He's got a piece of Dinwiddie now.
Yeah. I think he's played good defense. Dinwiddie elevates and scores.
Good move, good no call, too.
Quickly on this end, Smart gets it back from his buddy Forte, shoots a 3, way off.
Quick shot by Smart. That's that confidence we talked about. Good post up right there.
Scott with the left hand foul.
Now this is a bad comparison because he's not Tim Duncan, but he takes his time in the post. He looks over his inside shoulder, and he has that type of movement, body movement. Now, I'm not saying he's Tim Duncan, but he's an efficient post player with not a lot of wasted motion.
Let's check in with Andy Katz. Andy?
Remember, as we're coming onto the court, Tad Boyle told me we've got to get the ball inside. It's plays like that to Scott that potentially can get them back in the game. He wanted everything to settle down, play within yourself, and obviously getting a little half-court basketball right there, Fran, can work.
No, I agree. And you know what? They're in striking distance right now. Oklahoma State's played good defense, but it's a 5-point game.
It's sort of the same point that Coach Boyle told Andy coming out of halftime. Hey, we couldn't have played worse, and we're in this game. Here's Brown, passed up the three for the better shooter. Forte hits.
How about that? How about that? How about that? That's called a next one. A next one means you have the shot, but someone else has a better shot. He made that decision in the air.
He jumped so high, he's got plenty of time to make the decision.
That's right.
Dinwiddie, foul. Some guys, that time is a little shorter.
Yeah, exactly. He had plenty of time. And watch this. Good execution. Great down screen to get him open right there. And then he's in the air, boom, and who does he throw it to? A nearly 50% shooter from behind the arc.
It's hard to blame Forte's man for coming over to help. It sure looked like Brown was going to shoot the ball.
Exactly.
Just nice, unselfish basketball. Dinwiddie makes the first free throw. Still a long way to go in this game.
And on the other end, Dinwiddie getting to the lane, getting to the rim. He's drawing, Dave, about 7 fouls per 40 minutes of action, which essentially means he's getting 2 guys in foul trouble every game.
Yeah. There aren't that many players in college hoops who do that, at least to that degree.
Well, coming into tonight, he shot more free throws than field goals.
Yeah. Cowboys ball up 6. Smart gets by the help and just blows his way to the basket with the foul.
Great execution again. I hate to keep repeating myself, but there's some great screen set. Forte screened, I think it was Cobbins, and then Cobbins got Smart, and Smart did the rest. But it all started because Phil Forte was able to screen Cobbins' man so he could not help at the point of attack on the ball screen.
Completes the three-point play. Well, they do, Oklahoma State. They run some beautiful
good stuff.
Half-court stuff.
No, they really do, and they got a lot of weapons.
That's a good combo.
Yeah. Makes you a good coach, but maybe it's the coach that makes the execution good. And in fact, that's what it is.
Hopkins with 4 fouls. He has not been able to stay in the game. Dinwiddie. Scott got his hand on the ball. Here's Booker, steps into the 2. Good.
Booker's been quiet in the second half, but that time he got loose off the loose ball. Good rundown by Scott. He kicked it out.
Booker at 13 at half. Forte 3.
That's only about the 10,000th time those two guys have hooked up in whatever it's been, over 10 years.
They've been playing together for a long, long time. Tad Boyle needs a timeout. The Cowboys have upped the lead to 10. 7:32 to go. Marcus Smart and his teammates trying for a nice win here in Las Vegas. We'll step aside. Marcus Smart. We'll talk a little bit more about the Cowboys star when we come back. Back here in Las Vegas, happy holidays, everyone, from the MGM Grand. Dave Fleming, Fran Fraschilla, Andy Katz. 10-point lead for Oklahoma State, starting to pull away, perhaps, from the 20th-ranked Buffaloes. Their leader, Marcus Smart, doing a lot of things
well. No question about it. It started early with his scoring, ability to get to the rim, open up the defense a little bit. He's always been on and off. The coach on the floor, off the floor. Great dime here. You could have made this basket right here. Kamari Murphy finishes it, and then he just finishes it all off with that strength, ability to get to the rim, attack the pick and roll, and get a little bit of that glory for himself. But it's not about himself. It's about this 10-point lead right now for the Cowboys.
Their offense has been really good. 10 of 13 from the field in the second half. Marcus Smart's been a part of that. Their defense has been good too. Dinwiddie was fouled. And that'll send us to another timeout here in Las Vegas. Final 7:15 to go. Late night hoops in Vegas, 63-50.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. The Quicksilver card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase. And Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2014 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award.
Welcome back to the MGM Grand here in Las Vegas. Dave Fleming, Fran Fraschilla with you. Oklahoma State with a 10-point lead against the Pac-12's Colorado Buffaloes. Let's check in with Andy Katz for an update on another Pac-12 team in action tonight.
Yeah, there was a great game between Oregon and BYU. Oregon, number 13 in the country, was undefeated going into the game. They beat BYU 196 in overtime in Eugene. They were down at the half. This game extended into overtime. Great game by Jason Calise, Joseph Young of Oregon. BYU led by Tyler Hawes, an outstanding game as well. And the Pac-12 has looked for these signature wins throughout the course of the non-conference. UCLA still looking for one. Stanford got one on Wednesday night when they won at UConn. UConn was number 10 in the country, previously undefeated, and they almost knocked off Michigan in Brooklyn tonight. So Stanford with almost a remarkable sweep of the week. As we know, Colorado with one of the biggest non-conference wins, beating Kansas on that last-second Askia Booker shot in Boulder.
Hey, by the way, Andy, Jason Caliste, that young man is another Canadian. He's a transfer from Detroit. He played with Ray McCallum last year. And you talk about transfer U. Everybody talks about Iowa State. How about Joe Young, Mike Moser, and Jason Caliste for Dana Altman? You talk about Duck Dynasty, huh?
No, we can't talk about that.
I guess we can't. We better not. Talking about the Eugene.
Oh, of course, yeah. I knew that's what you meant.
Yes. Jason Caliste, he can really shoot the three, as can Joe Young.
But I think Dana Altman deserves some credit because, look, Josh Scott, by the way, he's gone back to number 40. So apparently they have a very quick washing machine here at the MGM Grand. But Oregon, you get all those transfer players. The coach still has to put the pieces together, and the Ducks have been pretty remarkable.
No question. And now they've got Dominic Artist and Ben Carter back to go with that mix. And Mike Moser is more comfortable around the basket. He tried to become a perimeter guy at UNLV. That didn't work. And hey, we've seen it with Freddie Hoiberg at Iowa State. Not easy to put that chemistry together when you have that many new guys.
You guys are really good at it. Dinwiddie, by the way, with 4 fouls. Johnson way short on the 3. You can see that coming. Scott fighting for the loose ball, and he's fouled. These teams love to run to a teammate who's down on the ground.
Yeah, they do, and that's good. You know, that's you work on that, you practice it. You really do practice it. I used to do that. Made guys run over when a guy dove on the floor or got knocked down. You run over and help him up, help your teammate.
And the idea is
fosters, you know, great team chemistry, camaraderie, one for all for one. You know what I'm talking about.
Force everybody to like each other.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's kind of like when you do that post-game show with Kukoc and Kuiper.
And pretend we like each other for a few minutes.
Oh, man.
Well, Dinwiddie goes to the bench. Tad Boyle, I guess, is going to try to buy a few minutes with the 4 fouls. Josh Scott, he's played well in the second half.
He has played well. He's a good, solid young post guy.
Made the free throws. Forte from Smart, not this time. Loose ball, though, grabbed by the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think that was Brian Nash, who last year got an offensive rebound on 3% of the possessions. And tonight, he gets rewarded.
Yeah, Nash, he's shown some good things.
Well, he was so overrated for 2 years. He's now a very underrated piece of this Oklahoma State team.
It's funny how that can happen.
Yep.
In this sport, in any sport. Expectation level, not living up to expectations, then things can change again.
It has. And, you know, in high school, he didn't have to play hard. And his freshman year, he had some great moments, but he didn't play hard all the time. He is playing harder than he's ever played. And he's another one of those guys you have to contend with on the offensive end.
1-on-1 free throws, front end missed. So Hopkins misses. Buffaloes cannot give away chances for points. Smart on the perimeter, gives it up, gets it back.
Oh, good look.
Murphy, though, couldn't handle the pass.
He didn't see the slip screen. He needed to go right to the rim.
Booker in transition. He came up short. Followed his own miss, though. Nicely done.
Very good. Forte did not check out. Steve Booker went right to the missed shot. And he's a guy that's got to get it going a little more. He was red hot in the first half.
Yeah, they are really dominating. Colorado is in second chance points despite an opportunity from Nash. 15-2 officially is the tally.
I think Tad Boyle would feel like they have not played well tonight to this point and are still in the ballgame.
Forte passed up the three, bodies on the floor. Forte missed the two. Another long rebound though for the Cowboys.
They need to utilize this possession, but they won't.
Smart, three, no good.
Yep.
Tap ball. How about using this one?
Well, hey, they're not listening to me. Right now, they're not listening to Travis Ford either.
Travis looked like he wanted to run out on the court and just grab the ball. Smart. Brown.
Watch out.
Blows by, was elevating, was thinking about the dunk, and the ball hit the backboard as he got fouled. And I think that's number 5. Ron Hopkins is a talented young player, but just didn't have a chance to hang on the court much tonight.
We mentioned earlier, Colorado, we talk about how young Kentucky and Kansas are, and they are. They're 2 of the 3 youngest teams in the country, but Colorado right there among the 25 youngest teams in college basketball.
Well, by the way, tomorrow you get a chance to see a couple of games with 2 great programs on the women's and men's side. In Connecticut, the #1 UConn women against Cal at 1 Eastern on ESPN, and on ESPNU at 3:30 Eastern, UConn and Washington from Seattle. A couple of Huskies going at it. Speaking of the Pac-12, Washington not playing very well. A program that's used to being in the upper echelon over the last decade, and the Huskies some tough going in the early season.
Well, they've had some injuries inside, certainly lost some guys for the season. They still have C.J. Wilcox, who can really score it. And Kevin Holly's done a really good job at UConn, despite that loss to Stanford the other night. I would expect them to see a little zone from the Huskies, the Washington Huskies, after the way they handled that zone the other night in Hartford.
68-59. Gordon attacks, tips his own miss, did it again, couldn't finish. Frustration for Wesley Gordon.
Yeah, he's a redshirt freshman. He missed 2 games with the concussion. He may be the most talented player on this entire roster. Of course, still hadn't put it all together yet. It will come in time.
Smart little post move and tried to use the left hand. Here's Booker. Booker crossover dribble, 3 too strong, and a whistle and a foul. And I think that's against Colorado. No? It's against Oklahoma State. Scott was the one who was fouled. And free throws for Josh Scott.
Mom and dad, Josh Scott's mom and dad, both U.S. Air Force Academy graduates. Dad, I think, played football at the academy.
Both teams in double bonus now for the rest of the way. Colorado fans partially watching, partially texting. Both free throws good. Look up, not down. Yeah, must be important. That was the 4th foul against Kamari Murphy.
I like Markel Brown. He's directing traffic now.
Nash with contact. Score.
That's a horse move right there. He just horsed the defender right underneath the basket. See how Brian Nash has changed his game, Dave?
Totally changed his game.
Talking about 118 threes his first 2 years. That's an air ball.
Johnson just been way off tonight. This is a good player who has not played well. Well, you and I, we saw a lot of Brian Nash his freshman year, and he had some spectacular moments, but he was not this kind of player.
No question. He had that one game. Remember when he knocked off Missouri at home, and he had a huge game? Look at this. Yep. Rhythm 3, Forte. You know, it's like sticking your finger in the dike. everywhere you stick it, there's another leak because they have so many guys that can kill you.
A lot of weapons.
Yep. And an unselfish team as well. It's a team that played Tuesday night against Delaware State at home. They came out here Wednesday. Spent some time in Las Vegas. They practiced Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I think the kids really enjoyed that.
I got a feeling.
Yes,
Hey, listen, I love Stillwater. I'll be head of the Chamber of Commerce there, but Stillwater in December, Las Vegas.
Yeah, we hope the folks in Oklahoma, it's been bad weather today, so we hope everybody's doing okay there. By the way, and this will be part of the storyline of this Saturday in college hoops. How about that result with Ohio State and Notre Dame? They were down 8 with 58 seconds to go.
It's amazing. Remember last year when Notre Dame came back from Louisville in a similar situation? By the way, Florida State, that is not an upset, okay? UMass is terrific. They ought to stay in the top 25. Florida State, you got guys that are really, really starting to gel. You got Ian Miller's a senior, Coral White, the big guys inside. Devin Booker, another Alaskan. We saw Derek Wilson earlier tonight, and then that was a great game. Illinois and Missouri went back and forth. Jimmy Dykes did that game.
Bragging rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a fun one. And in the very last seconds, Illinois got a big win over the previously undefeated Missouri Tigers. Let's send it down again to Andy Katz. Andy?
Well, you guys do a lot of Big 12 basketball. Of course, Fran lives in the Big 12, and Travis Ford telling me earlier today just about how good this conference is going to be this season. And look at this in terms of their schedule, guys. 2 games against Baylor, 2 games against Iowa State, 2 games against Kansas. And if Texas continues to play well, they split this week, winning at North Carolina, losing at home to Michigan State. That's another 2 games. That's 8 quality games that Oklahoma State's going to play in the next couple of months. That's more than most conference teams, elite teams, would get throughout the country. Their power rating is going to be off the charts. All those teams will be when we get to March.
And by the way, don't forget the 2 Bedlam games too, Andy. Oklahoma
with the foul.
Yeah, but Oklahoma's only got 1 loss, and that was to Michigan State in Brooklyn. That's a really, really good league.
Well, does Colorado have a final push against the Big 12 power, the Cowboys? We'll find out when we go.
Oklahoma State by 10 as we head down the stretch. Last summer in Prague, Czech Republic, Marcus Smart, Aaron Gordon, along with Montrezl Harrell, Nigel Williams-Goss, and a very good USA team coached by Billy Donovan won the under-19 gold medal game. I happened to be there, watched them beat Serbia in the finals, and this is a young group of guys. Mike Tobey from Virginia, Jahlil Okafor, the outstanding young high school player. Marcus Smart was the captain of that team. And I think he averaged about 7-8 points a game, but it was more about great team effort as they represent the United States.
Andy Katz, you approve of the international expertise from our guru, Fran?
I do. In fact, Marcus Smart playing multiple years, as Fran knows, in the 18 and 19 years old. And Billy Donovan telling me after that Smart took on a bit of a different role this year than he had a year ago. Also, Aaron Gordon playing on the team. All those other freshmen chose not to play with USA basketball. In fact, Andrew Wiggins, if I'm correct, Fran, didn't play with Canada.
He did not.
And so this was a huge bonus for Gordon to play on this team, not just for the future of USA basketball, but also for the way he's played here at the start of this season.
Good defense by Scott. Oklahoma State going for the spectacular play. Dinwiddie back in, and he hits a 3. And Tad Boyle wants a timeout. That was a big sequence for the Buffaloes, and Travis Ford is not real happy about it. The attempt at the spectacular play, and then the 3 on the other.
Well, that's a set play that they run. They run a back screen lob for a guard. They can run it for Smart or Brown. But Colorado walked through that play today. And then once Colorado got it back, Dinwiddie, defender, goes under the screen. He knocks it down. And I got to tell you, Dave, 6-point game with the way Colorado has played tonight. This is a precarious last 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Last time Oklahoma State was in this situation against Memphis, Marcus Smart coughed the ball up a couple times.
Yeah, well, Dinwiddie with a big shot there. The 2-point guard, such a focus in this game. Marcus Smart, 16 points, 2 fouls, and missed a bunch of the first half. Has not committed a foul in the second. Dinwiddie's up to 18 points now. Those 4 fouls are looming.
Well, we talked about how quiet Spencer Dinwiddie was, but he's been much more aggressive in the second half.
Some pressure from Colorado. They've got 1 timeout left. A very quick 6-0 run and a 5-second violation. Oh, here come the Buffaloes. LeBron Nash can't believe it.
Colorado was in good shape. They did a good job of denying. Nash panicked a little bit, but he didn't want to throw it away. And so he held on to it and violated that 5-second rule.
Well, 54 seconds ago, the lead was 12. It's down to 6, and Colorado has the ball. Well, they have to play with urgency. They don't have to rush. But final 2 minutes, still down by 6.
They don't really need a 3 here either.
No.
Just get a good look at the basket. 2 would work.
Booker. Guarded by Williams, who just checked back in the game.
Smart's playing center field right now, and he's going to lose Fletcher, and he did.
Fletcher open, no good. Had a great look and just didn't hit the shot.
I'll tell you, Marcus Smart was just kind of watching the ball, and Fletcher, that would have been a huge play if he had made that shot.
I'll see how patient the Cowboys are. Clock is their friend. Both teams in the double bonus. Oklahoma State still has 4 timeouts. Colorado down to their last one.
This will usually end up in a ball screen now. Look for Murphy, who's a really good screener. Here he comes.
Smart uses the screen. Nash, shot clock down to 3. Nash all the way, and he tried to dunk it and missed. Here's Dinwiddie.
Oh,
and
that's
he
a
was
foul.
not fouled. There was no whistle. Scott was fouled.
Well, Dinwiddie got fouled. Well, Brian Nash, give him credit. He tried to slam it, but in missing the dunk, gave Colorado a chance to run out.
The missed dunk was an outlet pass.
No, it really was. Look how powerful Nash was, but that led to the open court.
Here's Dinwiddie.
And that's a foul.
Scott finally hustling down, got the loose ball, and he'll go to the free throw line with 1 minute to play. The foul also. And Nash is looking upset about the missed dunk, but I think that was Murphy who got called for the personal.
Well, the problem with not calling the foul on Smart as Dinwiddie goes to the rim is that Dinwiddie is an 86% foul shooter.
Oklahoma State wants a timeout here. Yeah, so that is a problem. That's a bad exchange as far as Colorado's concerned.
Now, Scott's pretty good too from the line, but still you want the 86% shooter up there.
The arrow favors the Cowboys. 12-point lead just a couple minutes ago. 73-67 now with Colorado at the free throw line.
And now Colorado has given up the most points they've given up this season with 73. Coincidentally, guys, 2 other Big 12 former rivals, Kansas and Baylor, were the other 2 that they gave up the most points, 72 each. Win over Kansas, 75-72. Lost to Baylor to start the season, 72-60. You can really document Colorado's season with these Big 12 games. Start off slow against Baylor, turn it around with Kansas. We'll see what happens here in the final minute.
Pretending like they're still in the Big 12, playing all these teams and playing a lot of the top teams. And yeah, I think it is a credit not only to Colorado willing to schedule some tough teams and play good opponents here in the pre-conference part of the schedule. They face a very tough Pac-12 once league play starts, but also a credit to the Big 12. They're the team, the only team putting up offensive numbers against the Buffalo's defense.
No, you're right. And quite frankly, I was at the Baylor game. It was the very first game of the year. This is a much better Colorado team than the team I saw earlier. They've not played well, but they've played well enough to stay in this ball game and grind it out, be in position now to close the gap.
I think it's sort of part of the story of this program now, part of their identity, because they really, I mean, it's hard to believe they're in this game at all. It feels like they've been outplayed by a good margin, and yet final minute they've got a chance to win.
No, there's no question. Tad Boyle has brought a sense of confidence to this program. He did a terrific job at Northern Colorado. We mentioned Dinwiddie, I think, is going to stay out with the 4 fouls, so maybe a little platoon here, a big miss.
Yeah, and that's what you were talking about. If they'd called the whistle when Dinwiddie went to the basket, he'd have been the guy at the line.
Right. See, and what this tells you right now is Tad Boyle is going to probably press and trap and foul, and that is critical.
Yeah, 2 huge misses also. Now they will foul Brown.
So Dinwiddie will come right back in, and they were hoping to cut it to 4, Dave, and foul, and Dinwiddie would come back. Now he's got to come back in.
And the pressure doesn't work. You miss the free throw, you can't set up the pressure.
Yep.
Just everything went wrong.
But let me tell you something. The reason Josh Scott missed the 2 free throws is because the foul should have been called on Smart, and I'd rather have the 86% foul shooter. Think about that. That's a big play.
Yeah, big play.
And you can, if you're an official, you must call the foul.
Period.
Period.
gets the roll.
End of sentence.
Yeah.
From the first minute to the last minute.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be dictated by what the situation of the game is.
No, and it's now you got to move on if you're Tad Boyle.
Yeah. So Dinwiddie back in, and now Colorado may have to think about shooting threes, and they definitely have to think about getting shots up as quickly as they can. That miss helps. Can't waste time.
And they should have something in their back pocket. And there it is.
Dinwiddie, I think this counts as wasting time. Talton, spin move, scores. And there's the final timeout for the Buffaloes. Took him, what, 16 seconds, though, or so to get that shot off. No timeouts left for Tad Boyle. 5-point lead for Oklahoma State.
Well, they tried to run what we call the elevator play, where the two screeners open up and allow the shooter to go through, and then they close the elevator door. Oklahoma State smelled it out. It's a late game 3-point shot opportunity. Good scouting.
Well, the Cowboys, I think for a team like Oklahoma State, we talk about trying to get some signature wins before you get into conference play. Oklahoma State's not going to be on the bubble. They're one of the better teams in the country, but you pile up wins against good teams, particularly wins away from home when it comes time. Are you a 1? Are you a 2? I mean, those things make a difference.
That's
thinking
right.
Long term.
I think, well, this morning I looked at Joey Brackett's seeding projections, and right now Oklahoma State is 6th. When I say 6th, they're going to foul Forte. S-curve. They're on the second line, a 2 seed.
Man, this is a team, they have what, I mean, some people consider the best player in college basketball. You have a guy like Marcus Smart, you're thinking national championship.
Without a doubt. And when he decided to come back last April, he was thinking national championship. He ended his season as a freshman with a bad wrist and a bad loss to Oregon. And one of the things that drove him was that he played so poorly. At the Wayman Tisdale Freshman of the Year banquet last year, Tom Izzo was honored as well, Humanitarian of the Year award. Trey Burke was honored as the Oscar Robertson National Player of the Year. Tom Izzo got up in front of about 700 people and he said, Marcus, I don't know if you're staying or you're going, but ask Trey Burke how much fun his sophomore year was. 2 days later, Marcus Smart said, I'm staying.
Dinwiddie, no good. And Gordon couldn't quite finish. Another opportunity missed, playing volleyball, and Scott gets the basket. And now they count the basket. Tad Boyle not happy. He was worried that wasn't going to count. 4-point game, 25.2 to go.
And he's got no timeout. So now they've got to just set up their press, try to steal it and foul. And I'm really impressed with Josh Scott tonight and his effort inside.
They did swap out because of that stoppage in play. They got Dinwiddie out of the game with the 4 fouls. Get to set up the pressure, get a little more organized.
Think about how big those 2 opportunities Dinwiddie would have had to shoot 2 free throws.
We have a review here. Is this a clock review?
Well, once the ball goes all the way through the net, clears the net, the clock must stop. And that's what they're eyeballing right now.
They watch the running clock. Yeah.
Got to go all. Oh, that's what they're talking about. Yep.
It never went all the way through.
Yeah.
Got punched back out. And I think the clock is just about where it should be. Let's see if they add a 1/10 of a second or 2. These seconds obviously matter. Close game late. It's one of the things officials are allowed to use a monitor for.
When the official blows the whistle. Now, did they blow the whistle to call it a basket interference?
I don't know.
Because I don't see that either. I think Rick Randall's hand went up. Excuse me, Rick Randall. It was Jeff Mallum. Oh, it was Rick Randall. He's underneath the basket right now.
So they did put 3/10 of a second back on the clock. 25.5 to go.
Don't let Forte catch it. Foul Smart.
And Smart does get fouled by Scott, then gets knocked to the ground.
No, this is, yeah.
I don't think there was a lot of extra contact there.
There shouldn't be anything called here. They ought to go to the monitor, but Marcus Smart was just falling down. I'm going to tell you now, everybody knows I'm a fan of his. He's got to stop that. That's a $5,000 fine in the NBA. There are so many things I like about this guy, but he's got to stop flopping.
Don't need it.
No, you watch right here. Watch this now. Here comes Talton.
Yeah.
There's 30 guys behind us that are saying the same thing. You can't do that. You're too good a player.
He does make a big free throw to put Oklahoma State up by 5. Smart, whose rhythm in this game was really interrupted with the foul trouble in the first half, looking for his 18th point. He's got it. 6-point lead, 23 seconds to go.
Got to have a 3-point shot play in your pocket.
Booker contested 3, and a whistle and a foul, and that foul is against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Rick Randall was right on the call. And if you're Oklahoma State right now, you must keep your composure. Take a look now. Yeah, I'm not sure. That could have gone either way. I'm not sure that Brian Nash did very much there, but more importantly, if you're Oklahoma State right now, keep your composure. Get the ball in bounds, get fouled, make your free throws, and celebrate Christmas.
Yep.
And if you're Colorado, keep fighting and clawing, because we're watching the Colorado teams. It's going to be a tough team in the Pac-12.
Scott. 13 free throws in the second half. He has lived at the line. There's a quick foul. Forte, though, the guy that Oklahoma State wants to have the ball, they want him going to the line.
And he did a really good job of getting open. Stevie Clark, the freshman, who we haven't talked about much tonight, but he was suspended for 4 games. Sent home from Florida when they were down in Orlando, and freshman from Oklahoma City who's very, very talented. See a lot of him in the Big 12 this year. Got good quickness and can score.
NBA Tonight comes up when we're done. From Vegas, Forte makes the first of 2. Well, Colorado, I think in some ways, Tad Boyle's not going to be happy with this game, but they have been such a home-heavy team. They've played so well at home these last few years. Not a lot of great road performances. This was not a home game against one of the best teams in the country. Scott, off the missed free throw, got to go. Forte's missed 2 free throws in this game. Booker, here's a 3, way too strong. Dinwiddie, nice heady play. Buzzer goes off, no shot attempt. Didn't matter. Oklahoma State survives 78-73, the final score.
Hey, good effort both ways. You play these teams in December to get ready for January. Both teams will come away with a lot to work on and a lot to feel good about.
So a fun night, 2 good games here in Las Vegas. Final score, the Cowboys 78, Colorado 73. Up next on ESPN2, NBA Tonight. For Fran Fraschilla and Andy Katz, Dave Fleming here from Vegas. So long. Happy holidays, everyone.